Hi there and welcome to Code Framer. In this video, we will understand about the conditional statements in Python, which is using the if, else, statements. So the first question that we should always ask, is why do we need conditional statements in a programming language? As the name suggests, any statement that generates an output based on certain conditions, is known as a conditional statement. A program is used to generate certain results, so that we can solve certain problems. Sometimes, or to be honest, most of the times, we may be required to generate the output based on certain conditions. In such cases we can use the conditional statement to write our expressions, in order to get the desired results. So, the conditional statements are used for decision making, where we anticipate the conditions to be checked, while execution of the program, and taking specific actions in accordance with the condition's truthfulness. A conditional statement is generally written using the if-else statement, where we use three keywords to write our expressions, and they are, if, else, and elif. We use these keywords in combination to write the conditional statements, and get the desired results. Now let us see, how a conditional statement looks like. So, first we need to write the keyword, if, and then we can write the conditional expression, but always remember, that the condition that we are writing, must always return a Boolean value, which is either, true or false. Python considers all the values of number type, except 0, as Boolean true. Similarly, Python considers all the string values as Boolean true, but the empty string is considered as Boolean false. Do not worry about these concepts as of now, if you did not get it, because we will be looking at examples in the end. In order to write expressions which return a Boolean value, we can use the comparison operators in Python. The comparison operators compares the result between operands, and returns a Boolean value based on the truthfulness of the expression. Following are some of the examples of comparison operators. A equals B. A not equals B. A less than B. A less than or equals B. A greater than B. A greater than or equal B. We will learn about all the operators in the next video, but as of now you can just remember that we can use comparison operators in order to compare various values, and then use it in our conditional statements. Now let us explore some examples of conditional statements. For example, if we want to compare two numbers, and check which one of them is greater, then we can write, A equals 20, B equals 30. Now in order to write the conditional statement, we can write, if A is greater than B, and then colon. Notice here, that we are using the if keyword, after that we are writing down the condition, which is checking, A is greater than B. Here the greater than symbol is a comparison operator, which will return a Boolean value. So always remember to start a conditional statement with the if keyword, and then write the condition expression, and finally give a colon to terminate the conditional statement. In the next line, we can write the statement which we want to execute if the condition is true. Always remember that after the conditional statement, we can write the action to be taken in the next line with indentation. Here we can simply print the result by writing, print, A is greater than B. Now if we execute this statement, then as you can see that nothing is getting printed. This is because, the condition which got executed in the conditional statement, returned false. Because here, A is less than B. But if we modify the greater than operator to less than operator, and also we can write the print statement as, A is less than B. Now if we execute this statement, then as you can see that the result is, A is less than B. So the statement or the action given inside the conditional statement, is executed only if the condition in the conditional statement holds true. If the condition returns false, then the complete block of the conditional statement, will get ignored by the interpreter. I know that this is quite simple to understand, but if you think about it, this is extremely powerful to implement many logics. In fact, if you are a beginner and learning Python as your first programming language, then you will be glad to know that you learned something, which you will be using in almost all the code blocks you will be writing in the near future. Okay, having said that, let us move forward. Along with the if block, we can also write the else block, which can handle the case where, if the if block fails, then we can write the else block, to handle the failure case. So in this example, we are checking whether A is less than B or not, so if A is actually less than B, then the print statement will execute, But if A is greater than B, then we can handle that situation by writing an else block. So we can write, else, colon, and then with an indentation in the next line, we can write, print, A is greater than B. Notice here, that we are not writing any condition for the else block. Make no mistake to understand that else block does not need any condition at all, because we are simply writing an action for the case, which is other than the if condition. So now if we modify the value of A as 50, and then execute this statement, then as you can see, that the result is printed as, A is greater than B. This is because the else block got executed this time. I hope that this is clear. We still have a problem here in this logic. What if A is equal to B? In that case, the if block condition will return false, and due to which, the else block will get executed, and it will print that A is greater than B, which is not correct, because A is actually equal to B. So in order to handle such intermittent cases, we can use the elif block. So between the if statement and the else statement, we can write any number of elif statements, and add more conditions and corresponding actions to be taken. So here in this example we can write, elif, and then we can write the condition as, A equals B. And then colon, and in the next line we can write, print, A equals B. So if you notice here, the structure of the elif block looks almost similar to the if block, and also you can write any number of elif blocks after the if block. So always remember that, inside an if-else block, you can have one if block, one else block, and in between these two blocks, you can write any number of elif blocks. So now if we change the value of A to 30, and then if we execute this statement, then as you can see that the result is, A equals B. This is simply because, the elif block got executed. I hope that this is clear. So if you noticed here, we use the comparison operators to write our conditional statements, and using which we could create the if-else blocks, and write a working logic to compare any two numbers, and see which one is greater among them or if they are equal. We can also check multiple conditions in a single if statement using the logical operators. Don't think too much about the operators in Python as of now. I will be creating a separate video to explain all the operators in Python. For now let us see an example on how we can validate multiple conditions in a single conditional statement. For example, if we want to return true, if a number is less than 100, or greater than 500, then we can write, if A is less than 100, and then we can write the logical operator, or, and then we can write the next condition which is, A is greater than 500, and then we can give colon, and then in the next line we can print, yes the number is in desired range, then we can write, else, and then we can print, no the number is not in desired range. Now if we set the variable A to 10, and then if we execute this code, then as you can see, the number falls in the desired range is getting printed. This is because, one of the two conditions is getting true, since we are using the OR operator. If one of the condition is true, then the output of this conditional statement will be true. Now if we change the variable of value to 150, then as you can see, the else block is getting executed, as both the conditions in the if block failed. I hope that this is clear. Finally, it is important for you to understand that, we can check the existence of a value in any variable, using the conditional statement. For example, if we store a value 1, in variable A, and then if we write, if, A, colon, and then we can write print, A has value, and in the else block we can write, A, does not have value. Now if we print this statement, then as you can see, A has value is getting printed. This is because, the if statement, will return true for the variables which contain a certain value. Now for example if we change the value of variable A, to 0, and then execute the same statement, then as you can see that, A, does not have value, is getting printed. This is because the Python interpreter considers 0, as a Boolean false. Similarly, if we store a string value in variable A, and execute the statement, then as you can see, A has value, is getting printed, and now if we change the variable A value to empty string, then as you can see, that variable A does not have value, is getting printed. This is again because the Python interpreter considers empty string as Boolean false. Similarly, if you update value of variable A, as none, then also variable A does not have value will be printed. This is because, the if condition will evaluate to false for the none object. I hope that these concepts are clear. as they are going to help you a big way in the future. For now, it is more than sufficient to understand these concepts about the conditional statements. Continue to practice more and explore more possibilities with the conditional statements. Instead of searching problems from the internet, use your own innovation and create your own problems, and then solve it using the conditional statements. Believe me, such self-initiated effort will get into your subconscious mind instantly, and you will start feeling comfortable quickly. In the next video, I will explain about the looping statements. If you like this video, then hit the like button, share it with other code lovers, and subscribe to Code Framer to master programming languages. See you in the next video, and until then, happy learning!